All right. All right. We are live. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see here. I need. Thank you, Outlook. Let's see. No, not that. I need to set the scene here. Been needing to do this for quite a while. Personalization. Background. Luna. Hello, the boss. Nah, browse photos. Well, that could be. Nah, not right now. Where was that one? Just bear with me, guys. This one. Okay, yeah, it's on the other one. Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's on in the other folder. Extras. Where are you? There's the creepy forest. I might choose that if I can't find it. Doom. Castle. Ah, here we go. Choose picture. There we go. There we go. Now we're in the mood. There we go. All right, there we go. That's what I needed. What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing, huh? Hope you're having a great October so far. I know I am. Hey, I'm up and about. I'm alive. So is my dad. We've had a few old U games that some of them have been okay. Some of them have sucked, like yesterday. But oh well, ain't gonna let that bring us down. I'm sitting here chatting with you guys. I was enjoying some graham crackers and some cookies. Oh man. And we're going to be reacting to some videos today. I'm sorry I haven't been on, but I have really been busy. Really busy. I've been helping my dad around the house, and I've also been looking for work. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I have a job interview with OG&E in Sapulpa. So yeah, wish me luck. Hopefully it will blossom into something, and I'll be making money, and I'll be doing my job. I'll be working finally. So yeah, it seems the guys that I've talked to, they really seem to want me, or they really seem positive about the guy. The first guy that talked to me, he really liked my background. So hey, you never know. And if that doesn't go through, hey, maybe now that I've got my information in their system, somebody will go, hey, why didn't somebody hire this guy yet? Oh, so what if he's an intro level? Get him over here. I want him. I want to train this guy. So you never know. You know, it may start with something that you thought was going to happen, and then it may turn out to be something that you thought you didn't think it would come to fruition, and find out it's even better than you thought it would be. So yeah, and trust me, guys, I'll be doing some more around the Halloween season. I got plenty of stuff to go to. I was going to, oh, excuse me, I was going to do some reactions by Mr. Nightmare and his stories, but he's got a warning on some of his stories, and don't distribute these anywhere else. They need to be on my channel. So I thought about maybe asking his permission if I could use if I could react to some of his content. But I thought, yeah, maybe not right now. I'll try him later. We're definitely going to have some more Lazy Masquerade later on. Definitely some Sir Spooks. We're probably going to watch some Mindseed TV every once in a while. We're going to react to some scary places in Oklahoma, and we're going to do that actually this afternoon. I found some good ones. Good thing I saved and watch later. So yeah, it's not like I'm not without content. Now that being said, on a more serious note, if you guys know who Vanna Mellon is, and you know what's going on with her right now, I would recommend you go to her site, and if not on YouTube, definitely on Twitter, and send her some love, send her some positive vibes from you and your friends, because she's going through some pretty tough times right now. I'm not going to say what, and I'll just say, just go to her YouTube channel, watch her latest video that she's posted, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. I think it's only best that she tell you herself in her video. I don't think I will say this for her. I will say that she's asked us this herself, and I will quote her. I will ask that you be respectful and not be asking her family or the family of anyone else close to her what's going on. Just send your love, guys. She could really use it. She really could. She will be coming back. Obviously, she needs some time to heal, but my friend Sean told me that bad news, more or less. So, oh, you haven't watched the video? I said, no, I haven't. So, well, you might want to. I'll warn you, buddy, it's not good news. It's not good news. And I'm going, oh. My first thought was knowing that she had health problems. I'm going, oh my gosh, she's terminal, or she's really sick and she doesn't have long to live. No, thank God that's not what it turned out to be, but it still ended up being bad news. I suggest just go over to her site. You'll find out what it is. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, we got some videos we're going to react to. I've been meaning to switch wallpapers here. But yeah, if you would stop by our YouTube, site or even her Twitter account and, send her some positive vibes. I think she'd really appreciate it, especially if you're a melonhead like me. All right, guys. All right, let's see. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Should I? Yeah, I probably should. Yeah, that's probably a little too big. Let me see. Let me shrink. All right. This is a nice thing about having two screens. Now I can see what's going on here. And I can see you guys in chat, so I'll try and reply to you guys if you show up. So, as always, once this broadcast is over, links to the original videos will be in the description box below. So yeah. Okay, we're going to start off with unit number 522, Allegedly True Oklahoma Horror Stories. All right, you guys ready? I know I am, so without further ado, away we go.
I grew up in Oklahoma. This happened when I was about 10, and my brother was 12. We were playing out in our front yard one afternoon when our neighbor called us over. He lived one house away, and we hadn't interacted with him before. Maybe just saying hello if we passed by when he happened to be outside. I've always been a really shy kid, so I stayed back while my brother went up and asked what he wanted. He explained that he was planning on going out of town within the next few days, and he wanted us to take care of his pool while he was gone. He said that summers were too hot for kids not to be swimming. My brother agreed, and we were told to come over in 2 days. On top of being shy, I was also very paranoid, and I had this weird feeling about our neighbor. This proposal came out of nowhere. I told my brother, "You can go if you want, but count me out." I guess my mom saw us talking to him and came outside and asked what he wanted. We explained his story. No, you two aren't going over there by yourselves. We don't even know that man." 2 days later, we still see his car in the driveway and lights on inside. Something about him bothered me. I told my parents that he never left for his vacation, so he must have been lying to us for some reason. They just sort of dismissed me and said that he probably just canceled his plans. Over the summer, I kept noticing him mowing the lawn 2 or 3 times a week.
Well, that's interesting. So he was going to be out of town, but he never left. Hey, Sean, how you doing, buddy?
He never wore a shirt. He just went up and down his yard for hours. Once again, I would tell my parents how weird I thought he was, but they just kept brushing me off. A few more months went by, and school was back in session by now. I noticed him sitting outside his front porch every day the school bus drove by, and he would just watch us all get off, with this blank, unmoving expression. When someone is staring daggers at you like that, it makes you feel uncomfortable. Eventually, my parents decided to install a pool of our own. We had been asking for one for several years. They had to remove a large portion of our fence to get equipment into our backyard. It was one of those above-ground pools you had to anchor, but the ground here can be very rocky, and it took much longer to dig than expected. With the fence gone, our weird neighbor could now see directly into our backyard. I sometimes saw him watching from one of his windows. By the time the pool was completed, it was warm enough to go swimming. I headed outside in my swimsuit, with my clothes over the top. I immediately saw our neighbor staring at me, and decided to swim with my clothes on instead. Over time, I picked up on something. My neighbor wouldn't watch my brother and his friends, only me. The fence was eventually rebuilt, which I was glad. One day I was happily swimming in our backyard when my dad comes up to me. "Hey son, I need to talk to you for a second." I get out and I sit with him. "Son, I have to say that I'm sorry. Your mom and I get really busy, and sometimes we just forget to listen. And that's not right. I'm glad you trusted your instincts. It turns out our neighbor was a very bad man." He didn't go into too much detail since I was still young, but on the school bus, some of the kids were talking. Our creepy neighbor had invited another girl from down the street to come swim in his pool. He brought her inside his house and started taking photos of her in her swimsuit, and then let her outside and told her that she needed sunscreen and would apply it for her. You get the idea. The girl's older sister came looking for her. She knew that her sister had gone inside, but he slammed the door in her face, so she ran home to tell her parents. The police were called, and he was arrested. His computer was filled with photos of children from around the area. Pictures of me could have been on it. They also found an alarming amount of CP. What still bothers me to this day is that his wife stayed by his side. Mind you, they had children who were toddlers at the time. He was convicted, but has since been released and is now back with his family. We eventually moved away for a different reason, but I can't imagine ever having to look at that man ever again.
Yeah, always trust your kids. If they feel something's wrong, if you have kids and they feel something's wrong, listen to them, guys. Always trust your kids' instincts, especially with something like this. Oh, man. Jeez. Yeah.
This story happened in the summer of 2011. For some background, I live in Midwest Oklahoma. My girlfriend Angela and I were renting a 4-bedroom house at the time. We were home one night chilling on the couch. At some point we both fell asleep, and I began dreaming. We were walking around our neighborhood when we saw a man trying to break into a car. He was hitting the car window with a hammer. The noise was very loud, and he wasn't trying to be discreet. I wanted to intervene, but my girlfriend held me back and then whispered into my ear, "Someone is outside our door. You need to wake up." I suddenly woke up and heard a loud noise, just like the one in my dream. My heart was pounding. I looked out the window that overlooked the front doorstep, and I saw a figure holding what looked like a hammer. I panicked and woke up my girlfriend. When she saw what was going on, she screamed. The intruder turned his attention to the window and managed to break it. Luckily for me, I always had my gun locked
Good
and
for
loaded.
you.
The intruder was about to make his way inside.
This is why we have guns, people. Just before any of you out there said, "Oh, no, we need gun control out." Screw you guys. This is why we have guns, to protect our houses, to protect our loved ones, to protect our property. That's why we have the Second Amendment. Set to protect ourselves from douchebags like this guy, who would break you into your house, does not care. They will bludgeon you to death with just a hammer, just to get what you have. And they don't care. That's why we have the Second Amendment. And I tell you what, if I ever have to live in, right now, the neighborhood I live in, it's a good neighborhood. But I tell you what, if I ever have to move somewhere where the neighborhood's bad, I'm getting a gun. I'm getting a shotgun, whatever I need. And if anyone ever decides to try and break into my house, they're going to get it. I'll call the cops, but I'm not waiting on them. This is why we have guns, people. This is why we have the Second Amendment.
When I confronted him, aiming the gun directly at his head, I shouted at the man, "You make one more move, and they'll be scraping your brains off my porch."
Yep.
I didn't say those exact words because I was absolutely scared out of my mind, but I did convey that I would end his life if he tried coming inside. The figure backed away with his hands up, then ran off into the darkness. Buddy. I called the police right after and filed a report. We never heard anything back from them, of course. I couldn't give an accurate description, and the man took his hammer with him. He also didn't cut himself when he smashed the window, so we'll give him credit for being properly dressed for the occasion. But I'm glad I woke up in time. It's amazing how a simple dream can save your life.
Yeah, really. Wow, that's interesting, guys.
This happened in March of this year. My friends and I decided to go to this abandoned campsite located in the eastern Oklahoma countryside.
Oh, man.
I had been there the year before. The property was supposedly haunted. This is not a paranormal story. I'm just telling you the reason that we wanted to check it out.
Yeah.
There were 5 of us all together. Tyler, Jordan, Abigail, Angela, and myself. We decided to enhance the experience by bringing alcohol and weed. We had 2 bottles of Henry and 9 pre-rolled joints. We arrived around 11:30, so it was dark by then. We brought along flashlights and gloves, so we were ready to go exploring. But about 15 minutes in, Angela and Abigail both wanted to go back because they were complaining about it being boring. But the rest of us had put too much into planning this trip, so we had to convince them to keep going. This required opening up one of the bottles of Henry. I personally don't like the taste of alcohol, but I decided that I would be doing some drinking that night. I also fired up a joint. One thing about me, though, is that when I'm drunk and high at the same time, I tend to get very paranoid. It obviously didn't help that we were 2 miles deep into the woods. Yeah, I wasn't making the best choices that night. After a while, the paranoia began to kick in. I started hearing footsteps disturbing the leaves behind us. I was convinced enough to yell out, "Hey, is anyone there?" Again, this probably wasn't the best idea, because it freaked out Abigail and Angela. Tyler even asked me, "Dude, what are you going on about?" "Look, I know I'm kind of fucked up right now, but I'm hearing someone following us." "It's probably just an animal, dumbass. How stoned are you?" We kept going, but I continued to hear what I thought were footsteps behind us.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is why you don't get drunk and high at the same time. Oh, boy. Don't do drugs, kids. Oh, and don't drink. Don't get drunk either. Jeez.
The thought of it being an animal didn't make me feel any better. I've never seen a black bear in the wild, but I was pretty sure they were native to this area of Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think they are.
We got to the campsite soon after. We sat at a wooden table to rest after walking 5 miles in the dark. It was around 2:50 a.m. at this point, and we decided to start partying. Let's stop here for a moment and take stock of the situation. A bunch of young adults smoking and drinking in the dead of night on a deserted campground in the middle of the vast Oklahoma forest.
Bad idea.
There were several rumors as to why this place had shut down. Some say that one of the camp counselors lost his mind and murdered several children with a fire axe.
Oh, lovely.
Of course, there is no evidence that this actually ever happened. My guess is this place shut down because of financial reasons. It was now just a collection of abandoned cabins and a rec hall with a caved-in roof. We were definitely being loud as hell. When I drink, the alcohol runs right through me, so I have to relieve myself multiple times. I told the gang that I had to piss and went to go find a tree. I decided to walk further away from the group until they were out of sight. I wanted to avoid any pranks they would pull on me while I was doing my business. When I was midstream, I heard a twig snap about 15 feet behind me. I didn't think it was one of my friends, since the noise was in the opposite direction they were in. I pulled out my phone, turned on the flashlight, and nearly shat my pants at what I saw. Standing about 15 feet away, I saw 4 hooded figures among the trees. I zipped up my damn pants before my stream was even finished and started running back toward the group. Guys, we need to leave here now. We aren't alone out here. They must have thought I was pranking them until they saw that I was running. They all got up and started sprinting. I heard more footsteps behind us and all around us. I genuinely thought that I was about to die. We were so deep in the woods that no one would hear us scream if we were slaughtered. None of us were thinking straight because of the recreational influence. Angela fell, and I guess no one else noticed except for me. I quickly turned to help her. Once I got her back on her feet, we couldn't tell where the rest of the group went. The moonlight was barely helping, and I didn't want to turn on my flashlight and give away our position. Angela was a mess at this point, crying and freaking out, so I had to try to calm her down and keep moving, even though I felt like I was having a panic attack myself. We kept going until we saw what looked like an old shed. I devised a plan to use the shed as cover while I called the others on my phone. Once we made our way inside, we stopped hearing the footsteps, so I thought we had lost them. The shed was actually a cabin with 3 rooms and a hallway. Once we got to the entrance, we were bombarded by a putrid smell.
Ew.
It damn near made me throw up all the Henry I had earlier. Angela, however, couldn't hold back and vomited right away. I tried calling Tyler and Jordan, but it just went straight to voicemail. I didn't have Abigail's number, and Angela couldn't help since her phone was dead. The smell was becoming unbearable, and I had a feeling I knew what it was. I left the entrance and made my way further inside. There was nothing of interest in the first 2 rooms, but the third I arrived at was where the stench was coming from. My heart was in my throat as I opened the door. I shined my light inside and was met with the most disturbing thing I think I've ever seen in my life. I know that a lot of you aren't going to believe me, but I'm going to tell you what I saw. At first, I was stunned when I saw a face on the floor staring up at me. It was only when I panned to my light that I realized that the head wasn't connected to anything. Leaning up against the wall were 2 torsos.
Ew.
Oh, fuck. There is something else that was there that I just can't bring myself to tell you. I like to think that I just imagined it, but I know it was there. I had to stay sharp if we were going to escape. I looked at the maps on my phone and saw that we were still 2 miles away from any roads. Angela was still bawling her eyes out, crying about how she didn't want to die. Honestly, I thought it was likely that we would end up dying that night.
Yeah,
We heard
girl,
the
shut
footsteps
the hell
racing
up.
toward the cabin outside. I grabbed Angela and told her, "If you don't want to die, we have to run. And don't look back." I planned on running in the opposite direction of the road, while Angela made for the road. I would hide somewhere until whoever was following us passed us. Then I would eventually come out and head for the road. I took off, yelling to get their attention. I should mention that I'm in pretty good shape, since I used to play sports in school, so I was capable of running long distances. Once I was far enough away, I got down low to the ground behind a tree and covered up with leaves and branches to camouflage myself. I was already wearing dark clothing, so I felt this was my best chance. My biggest fear came true when I could feel something crawling down my leg. I've had arachnophobia since I was little, and I've been bitten by spiders before. If not for the adrenaline, I definitely would have freaked out and given away my hiding spot. After what felt like hours, but was probably more like 2 minutes, I could hear the footsteps running away from where I was. I still wanted to play it safe, and stayed down there for another 15 minutes before I thought it was safe enough to make a break for it. Soon I was back on my feet, heading in the direction the road was in. It was now 2:17 a.m. I tried my mom and dad's cell. Neither of them picked up. So I called the house phone. Yes, we still have those.
Well,
after 2 rings, my dad picked up, and he sounded pissed.
Hey, don't apologize, dude. It's probably a good thing you did have the landline. We have the landline, we just don't use it anymore.
Up. So I called the house phone. Yes, we still have those.
Yes.
After 2 rings, my dad picked up, and he sounded pissed. I immediately told him the circumstances and about the bodies I found, and that I was separated from all my friends. While I was on the phone with him, Jordan finally noticed that I had tried to call him. So I hung up with my dad and answered Jordan's call.
Dude, where the hell are you?
Angela and I got separated from you guys. I told her to run toward the road, while I distracted whoever was chasing us. See if you can find her there. I'm heading that way right now, so I'll be there soon.
Okay, man. Watch your ass.
I ended up getting there before the rest of the group. Angela came out from her hiding place. She told me that she thought I was a goner for sure. I sent Jordan our location, and they showed up about 5 minutes later. We were all relieved to see that everyone was okay. Angela and Jordan hugged each other for about 2 minutes straight. Hey guys, that's lovely and everything, but we really should get out of here. Once we were back in the car, I told them about what I saw in the cabin. They asked me why I hadn't called the cops yet. I don't know. Maybe it had something to do with being chased through the fucking woods.
Yeah.
I called up the police and gave them an approximate location of where I found the bodies. But I never heard back from them. I guess whoever was out there must have hidden or destroyed the evidence. I still have reoccurring nightmares about what I saw in those woods.
Yeah. Jeez, a sight like that's enough to fuck anybody up. Oh, man. Yeah, that's the worst monster ever. Not the paranormal or anything. The fact that you run into human beings out in the woods. They're the worst monsters ever.
Hey everyone, this is your Uncle Unit. Thank you so much for checking out my video. If you have a story that you would like me to narrate on this channel, please send it to my email, unit522submit@gmail.com. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future content. And if you would like to support this channel even further, you can check out my merch store. There's a link for that in the description. I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope you stay tuned for the next video. Until then, never forget.
Indeed.
There's always a reason to be afraid.
Boy, you know how to rub it in, don't you? Oh, gosh. All right. Yeah, definitely check out, stop it. Definitely check out Unit 522. He's got some great stories to tell, not just about Oklahoma, but about a lot of other places, too. Hell, he's even got some great Halloween stories, too. All right. There's that taken care of. We've got through that. All right. Up next, here's 4 Scary Oklahoma Horror Stories by Swamp Dweller. All right. You guys ready? I know I am. So without further ado, away we go. Ah. Yeah. Okay.
Did you know that the shopping cart was invented in Ardmore, Oklahoma in 1936? Or
I
that the
didn't.
nation's first parking meter was installed in Oklahoma City in 1935?
I didn't know
Or
that.
that the first Girl Scout cookie was sold in Muskogee in 1917?
Wow. Well, you learn something every day. That's where I live not too far from Muskogee.
Oklahoma is a place full of fun facts,
Yes,
but
it is.
also dark and twisted mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back to the Swamp, my friends, and welcome if you're new. Today, I'm going to be sharing some creepy and allegedly true horror stories from Oklahoma, sent in by viewers just like you. As always, if you have a story that you would like to share in a future episode, whether it's from your home state or something different, be sure to submit it at swampdweller.net or the email you can find in the description down below. I would love to share your story with everyone here in the swamp. It's stories like yours that truly help keep this show going on a daily basis. Hey everyone, real quick I want to talk about Chilling, the awesome horror app I'm partnered with. In case you haven't heard, every week I have new stories released over on Chilling. There are over 1,000 stories over there with a bunch of YouTube narrators and professionals to choose from. On Chilling you can do the things you'll never be able to do on YouTube. Choose from over 1,000 individual stories that are sorted into curated playlists or create your own. On Chilling, we give you so much flexibility to listen the way you want. This includes a chilling, game-changing feature, our ambient menu. You can change the background sounds of the story at any time to fit your mood. Go from rain to a campfire with the press of a button. It's totally revolutionary. You need to try it. There have been a number of awesome updates to Chilling, such as the ability to download stories for offline listening and the new social feature. You can now discuss your favorite stories with other users and friends. We are just getting started. Not only are we adding hours of new content every single week, but original video content is also in the works. Chilling is evolving into a must-have for all horror lovers. Please go start your free trial over on Chilling and check out my personal playlist there.
Okay. Sure.
Many years ago, we lived at the end of a long road. It was actually the last house on the left, although that has nothing to do with the story. Previous tenants told us of odd happenings, but we didn't believe them. Our disbelief was short-lived. It began with my 4-year-old daughter screaming at something she had seen in the living room. She said it was a black cloud, and that it had crossed the room and disappeared into the corner. We dismissed it until my wife's sister visited a few days later. She said the cloud reappeared from the same corner and enveloped her 2 little girls. Later that same day, my wife saw the cloud come from the corner and wrap itself around her. She said it was suffocating, hot, and stank of sulfur and burning meat. The cloud seemed to only manifest itself around women and girls. Unfortunately for my sons, males were not spared the haunting. The front door of the old house squeaked loudly, and no amount of WD-40, graphite, or silicone gel would quiet it. Now, to understand the layout of the house, one must realize that it was built into the side of a hill. The front door faced the west, and one would enter there onto the second floor, which is where the living area, dining room, kitchen, and bathrooms all were. The bedrooms and laundry room were on the first floor, which could be accessed by the east-facing back door. One night, the boys, aged 8 and 6, heard the front door open, so they went to investigate. In the open front door, they could see an odd green-colored mist. When they approached to the door to see from where the glow was originating, the glow disappeared. The younger boy discovered the specter's aversion to pleasant smells. My wife set out store-bought air fresheners, but this was useless. Once a room would be vacated, the fresheners would close by themselves. It was my younger son who pointed out this phenomenon, as well as the fact that scented candles would extinguish themselves once any room was empty. The older boy was beset with his own terror. Frequently, he would awaken on his bottom bunk to find a horrific and contorted face shrieking at him. The face was aged and wrinkled, the gender of the entity undefined. He would also learn to put away his playthings. One night, he was roused by the sound of his toys moving around the floor. He looked to see small black beings moving trucks, warships, and cars against the door, as if to barricade it from entry. When they noticed he was watching them, they turned and began climbing the covers, trying to get at him. He screamed and I came running to find him clinging to the bottom of the bunk bed. Up to this point, I had seen nothing, so I was still somewhat skeptical of all these stories. That changed on the last night of the haunting. We were asleep downstairs and I was dreaming. I dreamt that I walked into our bedroom, but there was no bedroom furniture there. It was furnished as a living room, and on the sofa sat the most beautiful red-headed woman I had ever seen. Now my wife, beautiful in her own right, is a brunette, but in this dream, I knew the redhead to be my wife. She was crying. She turned and looked at me through blackened, tear-filled, and fear-filled eyes. I should have pity in my heart for this woman, but I felt rage for some reason. She cowered into an arm of the sofa, and I started toward her to continue the beating I knew she deserved. It was when I heard a voice that I realized that the dream had been silent up to that point. In my dream, I knew that this was because the wife was deaf. The voice I had heard was that of my 6-year-old. I turned and looked to the doorway to see my real-life son standing there in clothes I had never seen before. He was wearing black pants and a long-sleeved red pullover shirt. He was soaking wet from head to toe, and his skin appeared ashen and lifeless. Again, I felt no love for my family, only a burning rage. The boy looked up to me and said, "Dad?" He, too, had a look of abject fear in his eyes, but he continued, "Dad, help me." I turned toward him and raised my clenched fist and struck the child square in the face. 2 men were yelling at each other, throwing around furniture and breaking glass. I jumped from my bed and ran upstairs. As my foot fell into the carpeted hallway of the 2nd floor, all was silent. No one was there. The windows were intact, the furniture upright, but the door stood open, shrouded in an iridescent green glow. Drawn, I approached the door and looked out onto the darkened street. There was nothing. All was quiet. Fall and autumn leaves swirled in the cool night's breeze. I returned to my wife in my room to not sleep. We sat in silence, awaiting the dawn. And dawn did come. As it happened, it was October 31st. I stood on my front porch drinking my coffee, trying to rationalize my dream. And then I heard it. A chill locked into my spine as I heard my 6-year-old son say, "Dad?" Scared, I turned and looked down the hill. My son said, "Dad, help me." I approached as the boy was using a stick to try to dig something out of the ground. It was a strip of black corduroy. I went to help him but pulled him away when I saw the flash of a yellowed bone. I grabbed my son and ran into the house. The police dug up the skeletal remains of the little boy. He was 6 when he died. He was wearing black corduroy pants, a long-sleeved red pullover shirt. My brother is now a detective on our local police department. Although they have a lengthy file on the boy's father, they remain unable to locate him or his beautiful, deaf, red-headed wife.
Okay, that was creepy.
Hello, Swamp Dweller. I'm new to the swamp, but I've been listening to a lot of your stories, and I wanted to share an encounter I had years ago because I hadn't yet heard anything similar, and I wanted to know if anything else has been seen like this before. Back in 2015, my friend, for this story I'll call her Kay, and I would drive the back roads of a small town in Oklahoma late at night just for fun. We were both night owls and worked night shift, so it was just easier for us to be awake then. Most of these late night drives were uneventful, just us blasting music and cracking jokes, but there were 2 nights that left us a little shaken. I'll share the one I directly saw, since the other was mainly my friend that saw it, and I will share the other story another time. On this night, as we drove the back roads as usual, we came to a crossroads and had to stop because there was a dog sitting in the middle of the crossroads. It looks like a Rottweiler or some other big black dog breed like it. As we approached, it looked directly at us. Not my headlight, but us. We didn't really think anything of that. Just thought it was a weird dog. I said my usual, "Move, doggy," when I see dogs in the street.
Oh.
I didn't have my window down, so it was more of just me saying it to say it. It wasn't that odd to see dogs in the road since lots of people had dogs, and not everyone kept them inside or fenced in. The dog sat there for a solid minute, and I was debating honking the horn while my friend Kay said there's something weird about that dog. That's when we noticed that it was smiling at us. Now, I know how normal dogs smile. I had 2 dogs at the time and had friends that all owned both big and small dogs. Heck, my neighbor owned Rottweilers. This was not a normal dog smile. It didn't even look like a human smile. The best way I could describe it was like that of the Cheshire cat from Alice in Wonderland. Kay and I went stiff, both terrified and almost holding our breath. Well, at least I was. Without moving its gaze from us, the dog stood up and walked to our left and sat back down. Kay and I drove past this, whatever you would call it, dog thing, watching us drive off with that grin on his face still.
Skinwalker.
Kay and I only spoke when this thing was out of our sight, and we were both freaked out and checking if the other saw it too. We told another friend of ours over the phone who was in college, and her roommate said it sounded like the Native American smiling dog that was apparently a trickster spirit that mimics human voices and pulls pranks. I'm a quarter Choctaw, and I believe in all those tales. I know it's probably not the creepiest story on this channel, but it's true, and I wanted to share it with the swamp.
That's pretty darn
This
creepy.
is the first time I've shared this story online, but I still remember it, and how scared I was. My friend and I both moved away from Oklahoma now, but I still have a few scary moments I can share from living in that small town. I'm a long-time listener. I just wanted to share an experience I had some time ago. My name is Jason, and I went as my friend Lindsay's date to her brother's wedding. This happened on October 27th, 2018, on Saturday night, and the wedding was in Chickasaw, Oklahoma. I picked Lindsay up from the Denton, Texas area. We stopped only long enough for her to change into her dress and for her to get her hair done.
Chickasaw. I know where that is, and I know where Denton, Texas is. My dad and I used to go down to Denton, Texas for the fall concerts at the University of North Texas. University of North Texas Lab Band. That's some good jazz concerts. They've changed they've changed things now. So usually it was the week right before it was the week on the days right before Thanksgiving, but now they've changed the weeks. So, and they've kind of gotten their jazz concerts have kind of gotten, So, it's a shame because they used to be really, really good. But anyway.
She looked stunning. The drive up to the wedding was uneventful, plus it was a nice ceremony and a nice reception afterwards. After everything was done with, Lindsay decided to stay overnight to spend time with her relatives, since she did not have to work until Monday. I wasn't so lucky since I had to work early Sunday morning and had to hit the road afterwards. Making sure Lindsay was good and had all her things, I stopped by a gas station to fill up and get an energy drink for the next morning. Again, the drive was uneventful, but I had forgotten my phone charger, and within a half hour of my drive home, it died. Lucky me. Next thing I know, I am approaching Ryan, Oklahoma, and I'm hoping to get a charger cable, but they didn't have any. Luckily, the ladies in the gas station gave me directions, and I'm on my way home, heading in the right direction. After another 15 or 20 minutes, I'm on a stretch of lonely dark road only illuminated by my headlights. Now, I know I'm driving on Native American land, and I'm aware of the folklore. I know about the belief in spirits good and bad. I'm not religious, but I do believe in spirits, the afterlife, demons, and all of that, but those are stories for another time. I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is kind of a setting in a cliche horror movie, and the killer or creature should be crossing right about now.
Yeah.
After having a little chuckle to myself, I'm driving, and the next thing I see is a white mist or fog and drive through it. Now this is the strangest thing. It was not a deep or long stretch at all, maybe about 6 to 10 feet, but I was struck with the deepest sense of terror, anxiety, and paranoia that I'd ever felt in my entire life. I didn't let up until I got home. I immediately got a hold of my folks and asked my mom to give me a blessing as she was raised Catholic. I don't know what the strange mist or fog was, but in my whole life I have never been that scared or shaken before or since. I never travel without my grandfather's old St. Michael medal and small Bible now. I never want to have an experience like that ever again.
Okay.
I lived with my grandparents in southern Oklahoma. Their house was at the end of a country road, surrounded by woods and pastures. My grandpa was a truck driver and was gone for a week or two at a time. My grandmother and I were the only ones there. It was the middle of summer, and it was hot as hell. One night between midnight and 2 a.m., I woke up sweating, hot and miserable. It was
Ouch, Sean.
pitch black and extremely quiet. I realized quickly the fans and AC were all off. I stumbled to the living room just as
that's
my
not
grandmother
good.
did the same. The house was stuffy, and the humidity was choking, so we decided to go sit on the front porch. We sat there for just a few minutes, sleepily making small talk. Our road runs for about a mile through our little town. We are at the dead end, as I mentioned. The nearest intersection is about 1,000 feet from the porch. There is a house there, and the houses continue. At that point, like any other city block, houses lining both sides of the road. Just about every home had a dog or more. At some point, you faintly noticed the dogs barking. From way down the road, then some more would join in, and then more. The barking progressed, closer and closer. You could tell that whatever the dogs were barking at was traveling down the road in our direction. Now, it wasn't strange to us at first. We figured somebody was walking or driving down the road that was causing the barking. But as the dogs at the nearest intersection joined in, my grandmother said, "What is that?" At the intersection, I saw a green glowing light bobbing down the street. It was kind of swinging left and right, up and down, as it came slowly toward us. It was pitch black outside, so I couldn't see a body, but to me, it looked like somebody was walking while wearing a green glow light on a necklace. Imagine how it would bounce around while you walked or jogged. Now, once you cross our side of the intersection, the road is lined on both sides with 6 strands of barbed wire fence. It's about 5 foot tall, and you can't squeeze through the strands without somebody spreading it for you.
Ouch.
This green light gets about halfway to our porch, both of us standing now, quietly watching, and just veers into the pasture. It never elevated over the fence. It didn't lower or slow to squeeze through. It just started floating off the road and away from us. It was still traveling in the same direction but angling away from us. It disappeared, obstructed by the house across the street from us. My grandma asked me if I saw who it was. I told her it was too dark to tell. We both still assumed it was a person. A minute or two later, it pops around the other side of the neighbor's house. It was maybe 300 feet away. My grandmother steps to the edge of the porch, leaning forward, trying to see through the darkness. "What is that?" "I don't know, Granny." The thing stops. No bobbing, no weaving. Just stops for a few seconds, then starts floating straight toward us. It crosses the neighbor's yard. My granny backs up toward the door. It floats over the neighbor's fence and crosses the street. This thing is finally close enough to see that there is no person attached. It's a floating green orb about the size of a baseball. It crosses our front fence. I kind of hear the screen door pull open, but I am full-blown intrigued by what the hell I am looking at. It wasn't threatening at all. Honestly, it just kind of seemed innocently aloof. Think like you just spent 10 minutes watching a toddler bumblebee around outside. That is how it felt the whole time I was watching it. As it comes closer, about 10 feet away, I begin to step off the porch. Startled, I spin around just in time to hear the deadbolt slide shut on the door my granny just slammed shut. I lunge to the door and start banging on it. "Open the door!" The door slings open and my grandma sticks a shotgun out the door and I rushed past her. "What the heck was that?" "No idea, Granny." We both spent a bit looking out the different windows of the house. but we never spotted it again. It wasn't too long after the power and AC came back on. I have no idea what it was. I don't know much about orbs, but this was nothing of that kind. This was something tangible. It had a presence that felt like it was intelligent. We spent over 10 minutes watching it. Does anybody in the comments have any ideas?
Actually, yeah, there are tales about a light in Oklahoma that can be seen, especially in the wasteland area, the desert regions and all, panhandles. I forgot exactly where in Oklahoma, but it was around where he and his grandma are, and it's sometimes it's very big, sometimes it's very small. It only shows up around on certain times of night, certain times of the night. So yeah, I think that's what you guys encountered, or at least something close to it. You definitely encountered a spirit orb. Ooh.
Thanks for listening to these creepy and allegedly true Oklahoma horror stories sent in by viewers just like you. As always, if you enjoyed these stories, please be sure to hit that like button as it helps me out a ton. The more likes this episode gets, the more YouTube promotes it in the algorithm, and that's incredibly helpful for the swamp growing. If you're new to the swamp, why not join us? Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to never miss a new episode, as I upload them nearly every single day.
Thank
in
you,
all
Swamp
things natural
Dweller.
and supernatural. If you have a story that you would like to share in a future episode, be sure to submit your story at swampdweller.net or the email you can find in the description down below. I would love to share your story with everyone here in the swamp. It's stories like yours that help keep this show going on a daily basis. If you're on the go but don't have YouTube Premium but would like to download and listen to your favorite Swamp Dweller scary stories no matter where you are, you can download them absolutely free from Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, and just about anywhere else you find your favorite podcast online. If you'd like to support the swamp outside of that, maybe come join me over on Twitch. I stream a couple of times a week over there. Sometimes we play horror games, sometimes we do other things. You can find a link to do so in the description. Maybe check out the merch store. We've got t-shirts, hoodies, and more. Don't forget to come join me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and I'll see you all soon with another creepy episode.
All right. Thank you, Swamp Dweller. All right, we got through that one. All right. Onward to the next one. Okay. Oklahoma's Top 10 Urban Legends by Holly's Lore. Okay. This should be interesting. All right, you guys ready? I know I am. So without further ado, away we go. All right.
In a world where oral tradition can add mystery to any tale, Oklahoma's rich and unique history has spawned a variety of chilling urban legends.
Oh, yeah.
Oklahoma's urban legends are truly one of a kind. From terrifying murder stories and heart-eating vampires to Satanists who conjure portals, there are a lot of creepy urban legends that circulate around the Sooner State.
Unfortunately,
and today,
yes.
we'll look at 10 of those.
Bluebell Saloon. Oh,
Bluebell Saloon has been around since Guthrie's Tent Town days during one of Oklahoma's land rushes.
Oh, yeah. Guthrie, Oklahoma. I used to live around there. Or I used to, Tonkawa. We weren't too far from Guthrie. Yeah.
It has had a few different looks through the years, from tents to a wooden building in the early 1890s, and then finally the brick building it is today in 1901. Miss Lizzie's Girls, a group of frontier prostitutes, operated from this location. Their madam, Miss Lizzie, was known to be an intelligent church-going woman. According to legends, families around the area who were about to lose their homes would often sell their daughters into Miss Lizzie's service, being put to work in the bordello. In 1901, the building was expanded, which added another 17 rooms and second floor that housed a gambling den and a full-fledged bordello.
Okay.
Although this was a private club not open to the general public, outlaws and local authority figures were reported to often venture to the second floor. There was
Okay.
even a private iron catwalk that stretched across the street to the hotel, which gave local politicians and affluent visitors access to the bordello girls. Through the years, there have been a number of ghosts reported. The apparitions of a man has been seen mostly on the first floor around the bar and bathrooms. Most women report feeling uneasy in the bathroom, with many refusing to use it at all. There has also been reports of a dark-haired woman seen around the bar that is believed to be the spirit of Miss Lizzie. In the basement, there are reports of an apparition of a man with a handlebar mustache and a brown derby hat who yells obscenities to those who enter.
Oh, wow.
In
Colorful gentleman, isn't he?
There are reports of unexplainable loud thumps and knocks heard throughout. There are also reports of shadows seen moving from room to room, disembodied voices, humming, and singing. Sometimes the sound of soft crying can be heard, which has been attributed to both Claudia and Estelle, two well-known girls who worked for Miss Lizzie. One legend says that Claudia was beaten to death and buried in the saloon by the coal chute. Near the coal chute is rumored to be an entrance to the old tunnels under Guthrie that were said to be used by prominent patrons that didn't want to be seen. These tunnels would have been a perfect getaway for the murderer.
Oh, man. Really? Jeez. Good Lord Almighty. Oh. The Girl Scout Massacre.
On June 13th, 1977, Camp Scott opened for its 49th season. Little did anyone know that this would also be their last. That same night, a terrible tragedy took place, creating a mystery that has never been solved. Open since 1928, Camp Scott was a magical place for girls who came for summer retreats. The 410-acre property could accommodate 140 campers and 30 staff. The Cookie Trail Road led to 10 campsites scattered around the woods. Each site had a 14 by 12 tent with a wood base. Every tent held 2 bunk beds with mattresses. There were no lights inside the tents other than the campers' flashlights. The only other light source was the kerosene lanterns that hung near the latrines. The Kiowa tent was the furthest from the counselor's tent, and that was where Lori Lee Farmer 8, Michelle Goose 9, and Doris Denise Miller 10 were to stay for the season for 2 weeks. Sometime around midnight on the night they arrived, camp counselors Carla Wilhite heard strange grunting noises outside. Checking and finding nothing wrong, she returned to bed. Around 6 a.m. the next morning, she discovered the bodies on her way to the shower. They had been pulled from their tents, beaten, strangled, and sexually assaulted and left for dead.
Oh, my God.
2 of the bodies had been stuffed into sleeping bags, and the third left on the trail, partially clothed. No one could have predicted this terrible tragedy, but there had been warning signs during the previous 2 months during the counselor's training sessions. During the session, one of the tents was ransacked, and a handwritten note was found warning that 3 campers were going to be murdered. Believing it to be a joke, it was just thrown away. About a week before the murders, there was a report of a burglary at the local ranch. It was later determined that some of the stolen property was used in the crimes. After the bodies were found, the directors called the police and officers flocked the scene. The girls were immediately put on the bus and sent home. Items that had been stolen from camp, along with photos and other evidence, were found in a nearby cave, which led to Jean Leroy Hart to be named as the prime suspect. Hart had a long history of violence with convictions for burglary, rape, and kidnapping, and was supposed to be serving a 50-year sentence for his crimes, but he had escaped prison a few years before the murders and vanished, or so it seemed. Hart had been born and raised in Locust Grove and knew the area well. By hiding out in Cookson Hill region, he was able to avoid police for 10 months until finally captured. Many family and residents of the area believed he was innocent of the murders, even though he was a convicted rapist and kidnapper, so they decided to raise money for his defense. Evidence was found that linked Hart to the camp, but not to the murder scene. He was acquitted of murder because the jury could not find conclusive evidence to link him to the murders, even though the members did not believe he was innocent. It was just that the prosecution could not prove it. He was returned to prison to finish out his previous sentence, along with additional time for his escape. Hart died of a heart attack 2 months later. Over the years, as technology has changed, evidence in the Camp Scott murders has been tested repeatedly, and all tests come back inconclusive. Sadly, the murders will probably never be solved. Camp Scott never reopened and is now abandoned, serving as an eerie reminder of the horrible tragedy that stole the lives of 3 little girls. According to legends, Hart had been under counsel of Native American medicine men during his time in hiding and earned the nickname the Sandman for his skills in shape-shifting. During the investigation, detectives reported many strange things that occurred, including seeing a black dog in the woods that would follow them and then mysteriously disappear. Many people believe Hart was that dog. Through the years since the murders, people who have visited the property still report seeing that mysterious black dog roaming the grounds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think this is what... Yeah, oh my God. I think this is the story that my mom told me that one time. I said there were a couple of girls killed not too far from here. And everyone knows the guy did it, and all the tribes people knew that he did it, but everybody was afraid of him because they knew he was a shapeshifter. I bet that's him. Yeah. Having a heart attack. Couldn't happen to a nicer bastard. Son of a bitch. I mean, what drives a person to kill a child like that? My God. Why would you... Why would someone do something so heinous? It goes back to the old saying, or the old quote, what kind of a beast is man? Gosh. Oh my God. Alright, number 3, the Purple Church. Okay.
Outside of Spencer, Oklahoma, is a place so frightening that the reported paranormal activity is the least terrifying part of its history. The Purple Church off Douglas Avenue is actually just a concrete foundation with stairs leading underneath into a cellar. While there are rumors of what the structure used to be, most people agree that it was either an old clapboard church or a private home, which was destroyed many years ago. The purple comes from the many occult symbols spray painted in and outside the cellar. The Purple Church has a long history of rumors involving satanic cult rituals. There are also many places online that claim Sean Sellers, the 16-year-old alleged Satanist that was convicted of killing his parents and a store clerk, was one of the first to use the property for that purpose. According to legends, when a full moon falls on a Saturday, cult members perform virgin sacrifices at the Purple Church. There are also legends that say mothers sacrifice their newborn babies here.
Oh
While
my
there is no
God.
evidence of human sacrifices, there are plenty of eyewitness reports that say animal sacrifices are done routinely. Dead and mutilated animals, as well as animal bones, have been found hanging from trees. There's also one report that claims a tub full of animal body parts was found there. Even though the Purple Church has a reputation of being haunted, there is very little information regarding it. There have been a few reports of strange floating lights in the woods, disembodied voices, and the smell of death. Visitors to the Purple Church, including law enforcement and military, have reported to have been chased out of the area by men in robes. Some have claimed to have shotguns pulled on them. There have also been reports of nails being thrown on the road to damage tires and strand people there, as well as some being chased down the road by a large black truck with its headlights off. The Chesapeake Energy Company currently owns the property, and it is now private property. In 2006, rumors began that the cellar had been filled, but recent investigations have proved that to be false. Neighbors of the property have been known recently to confront trespassers to curb the amount of thrill seekers that visit.
Well, that's good. Yeah, that's the type of place you stay away from. Skirvin Hotel.
Built in 1910 by W.B. Skirvin,
Oh,
the
yeah.
hotel was opened in 1911 and was the first hotel in the city that had air conditioning. The building was 10 stories tall with 224 guest rooms and a grand ballroom that could hold up to 500 people. In 1930, a third wing was added, and the building was now 14 stories tall with 525 guest rooms. Shortly before the addition is when things at the hotel turned dark. According to legends, Skirvin had an affair with a hotel maid who became pregnant.
Oh,
To
dear.
avoid scandal, he locked the maid in a room on the top floor. Even after the birth, she was not allowed to leave the room, which eventually drove her to madness, causing the maid to jump with her baby out the window to their death.
Yeah, I remember this.
The maid's name is still unknown, although she continues to haunt the Skirvin Hotel. The staff has since nicknamed her Effie. Effie was considered a woman with loose morals, and many men who stayed at the hotel reported hearing a female voice proposition them while they are alone in their rooms. Others have reported to see a figure of a naked woman with them in the shower, and one man reported he was sexually assaulted by an invisible entity during his stay at the hotel.
Whoa.
Other strange occurrences reported by staff and guests include strange, unexplainable noises and objects moving on their own, including a maid's cart being pushed down the hall when no one was there. The Skirvin Hotel was listed on the National Registry of Historic Places in 1979, but then closed its doors for 15 years in 1988. During that time, former guests would often report not being able to get a good night's rest because of the constant sounds of a child crying.
Oh.
The historic hotel has now been fully restored and is open once again, with Effie continuing to reside here. In 2010, NBA players from the New York Knicks claimed their game was off after a night of haunts at the hotel, along with other NBA players, according to a 2014 article in the New York Times. There was also another experience in 2016 by a Los Angeles Lake player.
Huh. Huh, huh, huh. Well, I sure as hell ain't going there.
Carol Ann Smith, 51, was a well-mannered woman who lived in a duplex in the 1940s with two other women, Virginia Evans and Willetta Horner, both in their early 30s. Although it doesn't sound so strange, the weird part is the hold Carol Ann seemed to have over them. Virginia and Willetta didn't live on the other side of the duplex like you would have expected. Instead, they lived in the basement, wore rags, and slept on orange crates. All the while, Carol Ann occupied the rest of the house, living in luxury.
What?
The reason she was able to live this lifestyle was because Virginia and Willetta both had steady jobs and would sign their paychecks over to her. When all this was found out, the women claimed Carol Ann mesmerized them into becoming her slaves. This earned her the nickname Shivangala. When the authorities reached the house, they found several books on magnetism and the power of the mind, along with books on magic and witchcraft. Upon rescue, Virginia and Willetta told authorities Carol Ann had starved and beaten them for religious purification purposes. News coverage also hinted details towards a sex angle, but determined it was too lurid to report in full. After further investigation, it was found that Carol Ann received $17,000 from Virginia's father, and that she had told him it was to provide nursing care for his daughter. She had also convinced the federal government to give her wartime ration book in the name of her pet dog, Bon Bon, one of two dogs discovered buried in coffins in the yard. They were dug up by authorities after neighbors reported seeing suspicious moonlight burials in the backyard. To top all that off, it was found that the bulk of Carol Ann's money had come from life insurance policies she has taken out on her husband, father, and even a maid, all of who conveniently died right after naming her the beneficiary.
Oh.
There was never enough evidence to support Carol Ann being a con artist, despite the convenient timing of the insurance payouts. Carol Ann was only convicted on charges of forcing Virginia and Willetta to falsely testify against a neighbor she didn't like, as well as mail fraud over wartime rations. Carol Ann only served 1 year in prison. No one knows what happened to Carol Ann after she served her time in prison, or much of anything else now, because the file that was kept on her was stolen. The Hex house was torn down in the 1970s, and a parking lot was put in its place. The basement where Virginia and Willetta were enslaved reportedly still remains under the blacktop, and the rock foundation and front steps can still be seen around the lot. When the parking lot was in regular use, there were reports of car headlights coming on by themselves. Whether haunted or not, Hex House left its mark on Tulsa, Oklahoma's history.
Oh my gosh, Tulsa, Oklahoma. I know where that is. It's a hop, skip, and a jump from here. Man, my dad and I, we go up there every once in a while. Oh man. Oh boy, that's creepy. Well, I'll tell you what, Carol Ann, you may not have been able to be convicted, but I'll tell you this, honey, there's a special place in hell for people like you. Gosh, Stone Line Inn.
The Stone Lion Inn was built by F.E. Houghton in 1907. The mansion is 8,000 square feet with 4 floors and was a private residence for the Houghtons and their 12 children. One of the children, Augusta, became sick and died in the home of whooping cough after a nurse gave her the wrong medicine.
Oh, no.
In the 1920s, the mansion was used as the Smith Funeral Home. Then, in 1986, it was sold and turned into a bed and breakfast. During renovations, strange, unexplainable noises were reported. Phantom footsteps were also heard coming from the back staircase in the early morning hours, and the doors would open and close by themselves. It is reported that the current owner's son would neatly put away all his toys every night before bed, but when he got up the next morning, his toys would be scattered again. According to legends, Augusta Houghton haunts the halls along with her father, who has been seen many times throughout the house, huffing and puffing on his pipe. Guests of the inn have also reported seeing a childlike figure tucking them into bed at night. Others have reported unexplainable sounds of noisy children jumping on beds when there are no children staying at the inn. A wooden ball rolling across the floor is also reported to echo throughout the mansion.
Yeah, there's another place I ain't gonna stay in. Oh, Sean. Sean, help you, boy. Yeah, that's another inn I ain't gonna stay at. The Shaman's Portal.
Beaver Dunes Park is located in the panhandle of Oklahoma.
Oh.
It has some strange going on.
Yeah, that's one place I have not been, the panhandle of Oklahoma. I thought about going there sometime, and now that I think about it, maybe not. That's basically was called, long time ago, and still to this day. Yeah. Still to this day, it's called No Man's Land. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I may think twice about wanting to go out to the Oklahoma Panhandle.
There have been enough mysterious happenings and disappearances to earn it the nickname Oklahoma's Bermuda Triangle. According to legends, Francisco Vasquez Coronado, while exploring the area in search of New World gold, ignored the warnings from the native guides to stay away from the dunes. 3 members of his expedition suddenly disappeared before his eyes amidst strange flashes of green lightning, which Coronado wrote about in his diary, calling the phenomena the work of the devil. One legend of the area claims that it is an ancient Native American burial ground.
It might
and
be.
We all know that disturbing any of these is bad news.
Yes, it is.
Known by the natives as the Shaman's Portal, the area has been blamed for many disappearances.
Well, yeah, you don't disturb ancient burial grounds, especially Native American burial grounds. Nowadays, not only is that taboo, you could be haunted by, and people have been. They've been haunted by the spirits of the dead, and also nowadays, if you're found out for tampering with Native American burial grounds, especially if the tribal police find out about it, you can be arrested. You can be arrested and pay a hefty fine for it, or you can go to jail for it.
Locals claim to have seen mysterious military excavations conducted under the cover of darkness. After many reports of strange findings in the 1990s, Oklahoma State University archaeologist Dr. Mark Thatcher spent 3 years studying the area until he was shut down by what reports claim is men with military credentials who fit the description of the notorious Men in Black. The team supposedly took many geological samples and found strange anomalies, including ionized soil and electromagnetic interference, all which led many to believe that an ancient alien spacecraft is buried somewhere under the dunes. Aliens are only one of the legends of the area. The theories about the mysterious disappearances and weird lights have others claiming that the dunes hold a portal to another dimension, with a lot of missing people either transported or incinerated by green lightning. Yet others believe it is some kind of Native American magic meant to protect the tribal gold from greedy explorers.
That can make sense. The Masonic Children's Home.
This large two-story building with a full attic and basement was built in 1923 as a Masonic home for orphans.
Oh, yeah.
It was in operation until state laws changed and foster home programs were established in 1978. With the home's population dwindling, they closed the doors that same year. The building remained abandoned until 2000 and has now been renovated as the Dominion House, an event center that offers luxurious wedding accommodations. Legends surrounding the children's home say that one of the headmistresses were cruel and would often beat the children as punishment. One day, she took things a little too far and beat a 6-year-old boy to death and buried his body in the basement. When she was questioned about his disappearance, she would say that he ran away. Over the next several years, 4 more boys went missing, and she gave the same explanation. One day, the plumbing at the home broke, and to repair it, workers had to dig in the basement. Worried the bodies would be found, the headmistress decided it would be best if she moved them. A custodian noticed she was acting strange and followed her one day to the basement, and to his surprise, he saw her digging up the bodies. Another legend says that a nurse hung herself in the bell tower. It is believed she had anger issues and was unstable with reality. There are also reports that there were graves in the backyard. While the building was abandoned, people who explored it reported seeing apparitions in the various rooms. Other encounters include an entity of a little girl who begs for help and protection, a woman seen walking down the hall in the main hallway, a dark shadow in the bell tower that is reported to hover around people. There have also been reports of crying and screaming children heard. During renovations in 2000, workers reported hearing phantom footsteps as well as the sound of children crying. There has never been an official paranormal investigation, and the property is now under private ownership with strict no trespassing policies.
The Stikini, okay.
Stikini are beings from Native American Seminole tribe legends. When the tribe was forced to come to Oklahoma in the 1800s, they were forced to live alongside a new threat. Stikini are witch shapeshifters who transform into owls at night. Although they look like the average person during the day, after dark they shift into an owl-human hybrid. Their arms form into wings and grow feathers, and their fingers force claws from its tips. Their faces change into beaks, and their eyes change into large black owl eyes, but they remain the size of a human. To fully transform, the Stikini must vomit up its organs and hide them in the woods, often leaving them hanging from a tree. In order to change back to their human form, the witch has to retrieve and reinsert their organs. After fully becoming an owl, the Stikini must find their prey, a sleeping human, then rip out the heart through the mouth. They then must return to the woods and eat it. Then they can change back and go about their normal lives.
Oh, Bird Creek School. Okay, well that was pleasant. Okay. Well,
Bird Creek School is a two-room schoolhouse that was built in 1939. It was a small country school that got its name from the nearby Bird Creek. It was introduced as a modern facility at the time with advanced instructional teachings and providing jobs to some of the impoverished workers in the area. Little is known about Bird Creek School, but according to newspaper articles from the 1970s, it is assumed the building was used as a community center after it closed in the mid-1960s.
Okay.
In 1979, it was mentioned about being used for an outdoor living camp for students. According to legends, if you write your name on the chalkboard that still remains, then leave for a few minutes. When you return, your name will be erased.
Ooh. Well, now that's interesting. All right. All right. Well, there's that taken care of. All right. There's that watched. All right. Let's see. All right. Now we're going to do Ghost Hill of Oklahoma. All right. You guys ready? I know I am. So without further ado, away we go. Ooh.
Y'all heard something like talking.
You heard something talking?
This thing right here is consistently going off.
You seriously didn't hear that?
You for real heard something?
Yeah, I for real heard something.
You hear that? Did you hear this though? Well, obviously we're getting
I
something.
feel like I had to keep turning around, honestly. I feel like there's something. Like I look this way, and I start to feel like something's watching me.
Ghost Hill, Oklahoma, July 2019.
We're out here at Ghost Hill. This was actually a huge request, and I'm not too sure if this place is even haunted, but upon arrival we did have a couple of strange experiences, like right when we got here. I couldn't remember where you pull in for it to like take off. Hold on, my EMF thing's going on. So it's already staying pretty high. Alright, so right when we pulled up, I was trying to figure out where we parked for it to actually work, and it pushes you uphill. I think it's with power lines. It's gotta be.
But out of nowhere, this whole time that we've been out here?
Yeah, but it's...
That just stops.
Well, it went like all the way down.
It would be continuous. I
Right.
think.
Uh-huh, it would be.
Well, okay.
It's
We're
not
already
the
getting a
power
little bit of
lines.
activity here.
Yeah, it's not the power lines.
First got here, we were pulling in. This keeps going off. All right, so when we first pulled in, well, I thought I heard what sounded like a whistle. I wasn't 100% sure, but David actually heard the same thing that I heard, and we're pretty sure that it was a whistle. Then we stepped out just to see the feeling, get the vibe of the area, and it definitely felt a little bit heavy. Not gonna say it felt off, but it definitely did feel heavy out here. So we're going to investigate, see if we can capture any evidence. Is there anybody out here with us?
I'll take that as a yes.
I just don't understand why this keeps going off.
You've got a paranormal presence.
there anybody here with us? Can you make that? Can you make this go red again?
Whistle for us again.
Ooh.
I thought I heard like
That was a voice.
there's just so many bugs. It's hard to tell what's what sometimes. Hear that lock? That knocking?
No.
There's like a knocking sound come from over here somewhere. Is there anybody out here with us? Can you whistle? Is there anybody out here with us? Can you tell me your name? My name's Matt. This is David. If you'd like to come talk to us, feel free to.
You should whistle one more time.
But this thing right here, this has gone off a lot. This is the most I've ever actually had this gone off. And I don't know if it's because of those power lines. This thing right here is consistently going off.
Yeah, right, Sean.
There's that blue light I was telling you about.
There's a bug. Cricket. Odd noise.
Can you tell me your name? I think what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna go ahead and then do a spirit box session.
Already?
Can you tell me what your name is?
Zach.
Zach? Is your name Zach? I heard the response. Can you tell me why you're out here? Do you find it disrespectful that I'm out here?
No.
I heard no.
No, yeah, you heard
Can
no.
you tell me your name again? Is it hot outside? My name's Matt.
My name's David.
Can you tell me what our names are?
David.
You're David.
I did feel like we were getting intelligent responses, so whatever it is out here is definitely intelligent. It's not residual.
Turn us down a little bit.
See if we can, let's keep it going.
Wow.
Get it?
You get now his EMF reader's is going red again.
Did you hear this though? Or is it me? Hear what?
this thing come back on for a second. This is like consistently going off.
Ooh, we're gonna refocus.
Was that you that we heard whistling?
Knock noise. Refocus.
Wow, that's not.
I knock against what? Like,
I have
describe it like.
I don't know what's out here to be knocking on.
Kind of weird how we started getting more activity in these bugs stopped with me.
As much?
Yeah. Did you notice that?
I think the later it gets, the more. Is that you? Can you make this go off again? Make it turn red? Is this Zach? Had another spike to it. Can you make this go off again? If that's you, let me know that you're here. All you have to do is touch this device in my hand. Can you do that for me? If you want us to leave, make this turn red. This spike, it almost went off. It does feel like it's just a little bit heavy. It's not like where you're scared, but you feel uneasy. So we did one test to just see if it worked, and it worked to my surprise, his surprise. So
Wow.
we did this baby powder test. So we're gonna put it in neutral. Got the baby powder on the back.
Ooh. At this point, we're rolling uphill. Ooh.
Some type of handprint.
Any type of a finger is something, bro. I'm gonna be tripping.
Remember, the car is in neutral. Yeah. Right. Ooh.
'Cause there are a lot of people that say that it actually works.
Should he kill your front headlights?
I'm doing it for this. Damn, it's alright, just let it.
I hate it when that happens. They're still rolling.
Let it go till it can't go.
It's already slowing down. You can feel
Yeah,
it.
it is slowing down,
Yeah.
but they're still rolling. Wow.
Alright, you wanna look? Alright, good. So we hit stop the car. This is the baby power test thing to see if we can capture anything on it.
Oh, wow. Before, after. I didn't see a
It's a
change,
cool
did you?
experience coming out here. It's a
No.
little bit heavy, but in the day, I don't think it's on it. We definitely got some strange things when we first got here, but all that energy, all that's gone now.
Yeah, well, how do you explain your car being pushed forward in neutral? You guys weren't, your car's in neutral. You're not it's not in gear. That's weird. I don't know, guys. I'm not too sure about that one. All right. All right. 5 haunted locations in Oklahoma. Ooh, the Haunted Grove. All right, here we go, guys. All right, here we go. You guys ready? I know I am. So without further ado, away we go.
Welcome, my friends, to the Haunted Grove. I'm Megan, and you are about to watch 5 haunted places in Oklahoma that you've probably never heard of.
Purple Church.
The Purple Church is located in Spencer, Oklahoma, and the name is a little misleading because it is neither purple nor a church.
Okay, yeah, we've already heard of this, but we'll go ahead and he might have some other Megan might have some other info for us that we didn't know about.
It's actually a concrete foundation with steps that lead down into a cellar-type room, and it's the only remnants of the previous structure, which is said to have been burned to the ground. It's called the Purple Church because it's been spray-painted with purple pentagrams and other various types of symbols. It's out in the middle of nowhere in the woods, and it's just this giant concrete hole in the ground. But that concrete foundation is said to be one of the most haunted places in all of Oklahoma. It's known as the gateway to hell, and those steps are said to lead to a very terrifying place. Stories say that the previous structure that was on the foundation was some kind of church or building that was a place for people to come and practice dark arts. It's also said they performed rituals as well as animal sacrifices. According to the story, the local townsfolk figured out what was going down at this church, and they snuck out there in the middle of the night and burned it to the ground to prevent any further activity from happening. However, according to paranormal investigators and people who visit the site, the damage had already been done. There are numerous claims of paranormal activity in and around the site, including hearing noises, seeing shadow figures, and even being chased by some demon-looking creatures. People have even reported being physically harmed there, like being pushed or scratched. And the story says that if you're brave enough to descend those steps into that dark room, once you've stepped over the many piles of animal bones, you're going to be met by a demonic presence that does not appreciate visitors. I think it is important to note at this point that the Purple Church is located on private property, and I did read that the owner of the land doesn't really look forward to people coming out and visiting. So maybe don't go there without permission.
Yeah. Especially if you're going to come face to face with the demonic force, they are not something you should be messing with. Ever. Beaver Dunes Park, okay.
Beaver Dunes Park is located in Oklahoma's Panhandle. The park is 300 acres of sand dunes, and it's really popular with ATV riders, hikers, and even people who want to go camping. And while the park is mainly known for its natural beauty and outdoor recreational activities, it has become associated with something much darker over the years. Like many places we talk about, Beaver Dunes has its share of stories of tragic events and historical incidents that has led to its reputation. While the specific stories vary, a lot of locals believe that the area's past, along with the Native American history and the pioneer settlement, may have left spiritual or residual energy. And one infamous story dates all the way back to the 1500s, when Spanish explorer Francisco Vázquez de Coronado and an army of his men embarked on a journey north of Mexico to find the fabled 7 cities of gold. It's said that while they were making their way through what we now know as the Oklahoma Panhandle, Coronado was warned by a local Native American tribe to stay out of the dunes, as they had been avoiding the area for centuries due to its supernatural occurrences. As you've probably guessed, Coronado did in fact not listen to the Native American guides, and they went through the dunes anyway, resulting in the loss of 3 of his men to what he described as flashes of light from green lightning bolts. According to the legend, Coronado wrote in his journal that they searched the entire area for the 3 men, and they never found a trace of them. Over time, the urban legends and folklore surrounding Beaver Dunes Park has really led to its reputation for a lot of paranormal activity. People who visit the park claim to see ghostly apparitions moving amongst the dunes, especially at night. There have even been reports of unexplained sounds emanating from the dunes and from the surrounding area. Visitors have also described hearing eerie noises such as faint whispers, footsteps, or voices when there's no one else around. There are also reports of people seeing these strange lights off in the distance that will glow really bright and then dim and fade away. Some say these lights are paranormal. Others think they might be unidentified flying objects or UFOs. Between the stories of mysterious disappearances, sightings of ghostly apparitions, and potential UFO activity, it's no wonder Beaver Dunes Park is also known as Oklahoma's Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah. Certain people have been, like I said, like we've seen on one of the other stories, OSU's archaeologists have been chased out by what he calls the Men in Black. Blanchard
Cemetery was established in 1917 just north of the small town of Blanchard, Oklahoma. The cemetery itself is fairly large. It's roughly about 20 acres and holds about 5,000 graves. And it just has that old, classic, rural cemetery look and feel.
Yeah, I
It's
bet.
not even in the middle of nowhere. It has a ton of old gravestones. There's big, giant oak trees surrounding it. And there's a giant arch over the entrance. In fact, Blanchard Cemetery is pretty unremarkable, apart from it just being a cool-looking cemetery, until you go there at night. That's when people claim you'll hear strange, unexplained noises throughout the entire cemetery. People have reported hearing these noises and then seeing a dim light off in the distance. And as you go to investigate, you'll make your way over to the second part of the cemetery. And it's there where you're probably going to see a ghost. The ghost that haunts the cemetery is said to stroll around that second section. But don't be scared. You don't have anything to worry about. People who have seen the ghost describe him as a tall, older man wearing a trench coat and a top hat. And he's very friendly, always smiling and waving at the cemetery's new guests.
Well, that's good. The Parallel Forest.
The Parallel Forest is located in Lawton, Oklahoma, and it is a pretty unique piece of land.
I know where that is. Lawton, Oklahoma? Yep, I know where that is.
Man-made forest and sits on 16 acres. It has over 20,000 red cedar trees that were planted exactly 6 feet apart from each other in every direction. Because of how close the trees were actually planted together, it caused them to grow straight up and not grow any branches on the lower half of the trunk. It also caused the branches that did grow on the top part of the tree to create this super dense canopy that blocks out the sun. And it gives the place a really creepy dark vibe. It's also said that cell phones and GPS don't work in the area, and it's very easy to get lost in the forest because once you're in there, no matter which direction you look in, all you see is rows and rows of trees, and everything looks the same. So the forest itself just has this natural creepy feeling to it, but when you pair it with the mystery of how it came to be in the first place, it really adds to the weirdness. It was planted by the government, and there's actually a couple different theories as to why this was done. The first one is that it was intended to be a cedar plantation, so they were going to grow the trees in order to cut them down and use the wood for future parks. The problem is, they never came back and harvested the trees. The second, and significantly more popular theory, is that the government planted these trees to counter the effects of the Dust Bowl in the 1930s. But some of the questions that remain with this theory is, why? Why was it only in this spot, and why were the trees planted 6 feet apart exactly from each other?
Good question.
Whatever the intended reason was for this park, the way the trees were planted and the mystery behind how they got there has spurred numerous rumors of this place being haunted by either ghosts or maybe something that the government was trying to keep hidden. Visitors to the forest have reported hearing strange noises and they just can't quite place what it is, seeing orbs or balls of light off in the distance, hearing the beating of drums, and some have even reported seeing a headless figure lurking off in the distance. And if that wasn't enough, there's some weird, strange man-made rock formation right smack dab in the middle. And a lot of people claim that it's some type of altar used for rituals. The Parallel Forest is open to the public and there are trails you can follow to get through it. Just make sure you download your map first, because your phone's not going to help you once you're inside.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, what's up?
I'm just doing a little live broadcast.
Oh, okay.
What's up?
Well, I guess what happened yesterday finally led to some action.
Really?
Yep. Brett fired Seth Luttrell,
Good.
the offensive coordinator. He's gone.
Good.
Of course, I don't know. He promoted Joe John Finley to play caller, so, and then he took one of the analysts and made him the quarterback coach. So I don't know that having Joe John Finley as the offensive play caller is such a good idea, but at least he did do one thing positive. I guess he acknowledged that, hey, sorry, Seth, you're not doing your job.
No, well, he's not.
You're gone.
He's
So,
not.
but anyway, I don't know what you had planned for tonight. I don't really care anything about this football game that's on tonight. I didn't know whether maybe you wanted to watch some movies or something, or.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to be on at this broadcast for very long.
Okay, well, listen, I wanted to get cleaned up, and I want to show you something your Aunt Linda sent me.
Okay.
You'll get a kick out of this.
Oh, dear. Oh my goodness. My, it's come full circle.
How about that?
Someone likes this rocker. Well, good. Nice to see little Jackson's enjoying the red rocker. Well, good. I'm glad she wound up with it.
I didn't know. I honestly didn't know what had happened to it after your grandmother passed away. I didn't know who got it. And I may have known that Linda had it, but if I did, I forgot.
That's Jackson. Is that Yika's daughter?
No.
I
think
see
it's just a doll.
Just a doll. Okay.
I don't know, but no, it's not Mila.
Well, okay, it's not Mila. Okay. Well, I'm glad to know that it ended up with her.
Yeah.
I'm glad it ended up with Aunt Linda.
Yeah. Jackson will get some good out of it, and his little sister will get some good out of it.
And Milo probably will
Milo
too. Yeah. Well, I saw no reason to keep it because I couldn't fit it in anymore.
Well, no.
So yeah. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Thanks for showing that to me.
I thought you'd enjoy that.
That was great. Aw.
Well, now that might be one of their little friends or something.
It might be because she looks like a baby girl.
Yeah. I can't. I just love that expression on his face watching the TV. That's Tim.
Yeah. That's me.
Yes.
Yeah, that's definitely me. That's definitely me. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah, that may be a little girl. I really didn't.
Yeah, I don't think it's a doll. I think it's a baby girl.
It may be like a friend of theirs or something.
It probably is.
He's still got his eyes on that TV. No matter what position he's in, he's got his eyes fixed on that TV.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That is funny.
That is cute.
Oh my gosh, that's adorable.
Well, listen, I'm going to go get a bath at least. I think I'm way past due.
Yeah, I want to get cleaned up before I go to bed tonight.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I'm like I said, I don't have to be over there until tomorrow afternoon, and Jacob's going to call me again and ask me if I have any other questions about it. So, but yeah, I'm not going to be at this for very much longer. Sorry guys, my dad wanted to show me some pictures of my little cousin. He is so cute. He is so adorable. All right, let's get back to it. Fort Washita.
Fort Washita is located in Durant, Oklahoma. It was constructed
Durant, Oklahoma. I know where that is.
in 1842 and was the most southwestern post for the United States military. The purpose of the fort was to protect and maintain peace for the Chickasaw and Choctaw people and their land from a lot of outsiders who wanted it. The post operated from 1842 until the start of the Civil War in 1861. It was then occupied by the Confederate Army and used as a hospital and a supply station. And by the time the Confederates left, the fort had basically been destroyed. After the war ended, the fort changed ownership a few times before it was eventually acquired by the Oklahoma Historical Society in 1962, which then partnered with the Chickasaw Nation to restore it. The Chickasaw Nation purchased the fort back in 2017, and it is now open to the public to visit. And visitors to the fort have claimed to experience a multitude of different types of paranormal activity, like the feeling of being strangled, and reports of seeing apparitions from the people who were buried in the Confederate cemetery that is on the ground. Today, the fort is said to be haunted by several spirits, but most notably, the spirit of Aunt Jane. What actually happened to Aunt Jane is a little unclear, but some of the stories say that she was killed in the mid-1800s when a group of thieves tried to steal gold from her. She either resisted or didn't have the gold on her, so the thieves killed her, chopped off her head, and then buried her somewhere on the grounds.
Oh my
To this
gosh.
day, many visitors to the fort have claimed to see her headless spirit roaming the grounds of Fort Washita. Thank you
Oh
for
my
watching this
gosh.
5 haunted places in Oklahoma that you've probably never heard of. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to see more haunted locations.
All right. Thank you, Haunted Grove. All right, guys. That's over. That's it with the haunted places in Oklahoma. Now we're gonna close this off with 2 videos from the man himself, Sir Spooks. Now, if I have reacted to these videos before, my apologies, but I thought I'd at least show them in case I hadn't. So without further ado, this is 11 scary videos to keep you awake all night. You guys ready? I know I am. So without further ado, away we go.
Hello everyone, my name is Sir Spooks, and today we'll take a look at 11 scary videos. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more scary content. Alright, with that said, let's begin. This first video comes to us from the popular YouTube channel Professor Cynical, a YouTuber who typically uploads videos of himself playing and reviewing different video games and consoles. However, there's one particular video on his channel that sticks out like a sore thumb. Uploaded in July of 2024, the video shows Cynical explaining that he believes his apartment may be haunted. As Cynical is explaining this to the audience, something incredibly strange happens directly behind him. Take a look and see for yourself.
There's an orb.
Sick of this. So just to show you guys that there's, oh, for God's sake, literally nothing here.
Yeah.
I'm a tripod getting caught and everything. Literally nothing here. Look, see, absolutely nothing. Oh, sorry, tripod away. Hang on, for that. Just to show you as well.
There's nobody in here.
Strangely, the door handle can be seen moving all by itself.
Yeah.
After this, Cynical proceeds to go to his kitchen and begins to film the surroundings to show that there's nothing in his apartment. A couple of minutes later in the video, he then asks any potential spirits in the house if they can make something move. Amazingly, it seems as though something listens. Watch this.
Can you make something move again? Can you make anything move?
Whoa!
Then, about 30 seconds later, something else happens that causes Cynical to once again pick up his camera and walk around his apartment just to prove that he's supposed to be completely home alone.
Don't worry about that. That was my air freshener going off automatically. 8 minutes. Bargain. Nah, mate. Nah.
There's nothing there.
Nah, nope. I am moving out. I don't know
Yeah.
what this is. I don't care what this is. Nope. Just showing you again, ladies and gentlemen, there is nobody else here. Nope.
Yeah,
To
nope.
this day, Cynical isn't sure what exactly is going on inside of his
Ooh.
apartment, but he definitely suspects there's something paranormal in nature happening.
Yeah, Silicon needs a Nope Not Me t-shirt from Arctic X.
After watching this footage, I have to agree.
Yeah, I have to agree too. I don't think he was playing.
A Reddit user known as Emergency Row 4953 uploaded the following eerie video to the popular ghost subreddit just about 2 weeks ago, and it has already sparked quite the discussion online. While metal detecting at an abandoned retirement village, the uploader entered a building to look around. Everything was seemingly going perfectly fine and well until this randomly happened. Suddenly, one of the doors nearby slammed shut for no apparent reason. This room was located inside a much larger building, and there was no breeze or wind whatsoever. According to the uploader, the retirement home allegedly has a dark history of mistreatment of the elderly, and the uploader says that the negative energy in the place was palpable. Unfortunately, we don't get to actually see the door closing all by itself, because the camera pans the opposite way, but you can definitely hear it.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Then, you can see that the door is more closed when the uploader fills the door again.
Yeah.
Some people in the comment section of this video believe that this is a 100% genuine video of some kind of paranormal entity closing a door inside this spooky retirement home, whereas others aren't entirely convinced, mainly because we never actually see the door closing. What do you guys think? Do you think this Reddit user managed to record something creepy on camera, or was this all a big setup? Be sure to let me know in the comments.
No.
Over on Reddit, a user known as Truth is Fiction YT posted a video to his account that showcases what at first appears to be just a standard, uneventful video that was taken somewhere in the woods. However, as you're about to see in just a minute, this video is anything but ordinary. The footage you're watching is stabilized footage that was filmed in a forest.
Ooh.
Take a good long look and see if you notice anything out of the ordinary.
Ooh, what's that? Looks like Bigfoot to me.
Did you see it?
Uh-huh.
At one point in the video, you can make out what appears to be some kind of a tall, hairy creature stalking its way through the forest. As a result of this, lots of people have speculated that this may indeed be the elusive Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Of course, that's just one theory.
True.
But the video is entirely up to interpretation. Some in the comments think the entity is walking in a very human-like manner, whereas others are totally convinced that this Reddit user captured legitimate footage of Bigfoot's existence. What do you guys think? Be sure to leave your theories in the comments.
Might have been a mountain man just strolling through the woods, but it could have also might have been a Sasquatch.
Over on the Alien subreddit, a user known as SpaceGuy1994 posted a frightening video that's guaranteed to give you the chills. The uploader describes the footage as the best close-up evidence of a present-day Nazca mummy. The video starts off with two men standing in a snowy hillside area somewhere in Russia. The two men are talking about something they think they saw, both of them astonished at the gruesome and fascinating discovery they made. Take a look.
Сейчас погоди, подожди. Да вот, ебать, часа два назад хули, ебаный. Собака хули унюхалась. И все, мы хули думаем, что за нахуй лежит? А ты за... Да я хуй знаю, погоди, вспомню. Да. Сейчас, погоди, подожди. Да вот, ебать, часа два назад хули, ебаный. Собака хули унюхалась. И все, мы хули думаем, что за нахуй лежит? А ты за... Да я хуй знаю, погоди, вспомню. Вообще, ебать его кропать, что за нахуй-то это? Ну, это понятно, что дохлые. Да хлеб.
Focus. Focus.
Полнейшая дохлеть.
It's clear that the two men came across something they most likely were not meant to see. As the camera gets closer and closer to the entity, it seems that there is a dead alien lying in the snow, all mangled apart. There's certainly something very off-putting about the footage that lots of people, myself included, can't quite seem to put their finger on.
Yeah.
The entity in the snow definitely looks to be the corpse of an alien. But that can't be, right? Well, maybe it can. After all, our world never fails to amaze us.
True, or it might be a special effects prop.
TikTok user Able3E posted a video to his account back in September of 2020, which showcases security camera footage that was taken in his backyard in Weslaco, Texas. What initially appears to be a mundane piece of footage the camera filmed quickly turns into something much more frightening. Be sure to take a good look at the area off to the right-hand corner of the screen. See if you notice anything strange.
Oh, hello. Who might you be?
Did you see it?
Uh-huh.
A strange ghostly apparition appears to move slowly before it eventually disappears into thin air, never to be seen again. A separate video that was posted by the uploader sometime later shows the exact location of the ghost sighting, only this time during the day. Is it just me, or is there something unsettling about that shed-like building? Either way, let's just hope that if this homeowner did end up recording a ghost on his security camera, that he has since solved the problem and can now live in peace.
I hope so. I hope so.
The following video was posted to the UFO subreddit and showcases one of the most bizarre yet interesting videos that I've seen in quite a long time. In the video, we watch as the videographer is driving in his vehicle during a beautiful sunset. Out of nowhere, though, this seemingly peaceful video is transformed into something creepy and mind-blowing.
Say what? What the what? Whoa!
Out of nowhere, an extremely fast bolt of light seems to move across the sky,
Hey, it's
resembling that of a
fast.
shooting star. However, some people on the internet are not entirely convinced this was simply a shooting star.
I don't know.
Lots of people are suspecting that this is a rapidly fast UFO.
Might have been.
And it doesn't seem like too far of a stretch.
No.
The uploader writes that the video was filmed in Redlands, California, and says that the video shows an object spotted overhead, heading directly into the blaze currently raging in Southern California. It's kind of amazing that somebody was even able to get such a clean shot of this thing, whatever it is, whatsoever. Whatever this is, UFO or not, it's pretty amazing and interesting at the same time. Time will only tell if we ever figure out what it is.
Yeah. That was weird.
The following piece of security camera footage was posted to YouTube by a man named David Rodriguez. The video was filmed in Mexico and shows a group of 2 to 3 guards walking around and looking for a woman. Throughout the course of the video, we can frequently hear the guards telling each other to go ahead. It turns out that the woman they're looking for is appearing to them much differently than what they anticipated.
Exactamente están buscando ustedes.
Okay. Yeah. She is. And now she's not there anymore. Well, there she is.
Adelante, lo escucho. Hasta ahí está don Enrique, dice.
Every single time one of the guards attempts to walk up to the woman in question, the guard manages to walk right through her without explanation, leaving many to suspect naturally that the woman may be a ghost.
Oh.
The guards are absolutely baffled at this, and understandably so. What would you do if you found yourself in the shoes of one of the guards? Let's just hope that this ghost woman finds peace in the afterlife.
Yeah. Man. When she appears, when something appears on the camera, and then, I mean, was I correct? Did the guards see her too, or did they not see her? And then they're telling them that the lady was on the camera, but they kept walking right through her, and they couldn't find her. Oh man, that's creepy.
Mario Ramsey posted this next video to his TikTok account and sees him recording the inside of a seemingly burning abandoned hospital. The footage is quite scary and unsettling, so if you want to sleep tonight, you might want to think twice about watching any further. By translating the words on screen, it appears that Mario says that he noticed something very strange while he was at work. Mario says that he works at a hospital at night, and on the one side, there's an abandoned hospital. He claims it was about 3:30 in the morning when he looked out of his window and saw this. Take a look.
Oh man, there's a person inside the flames. There's a person. Oh, and it ducks
The video
down.
seems to showcase somebody burning alive while in the building. Mario agrees that the entity inside seems to be a person. However, he also acknowledges that when he started recording the video, the entity disappeared without a trace.
Yeah, it just
To
ducks
this day,
down.
nobody's entirely sure as to what Mario captured. Let's just hope that nobody was seriously harmed here.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's creepy.
A Reddit user posted an extremely bizarre video to the Alien subreddit, which showcases footage filmed above the Pentagon building in Washington, D.C., from 3 different angles back in 2018. The first angle showcases somebody driving in their car late at night, simply trying to enjoy the drive when all of a sudden, they spot something truly bizarre in the sky. Watch this.
Oh yeah, triangle.
What's that shit? This alien spaceship, I tell you.
Oh yeah, the triangle. Yeah.
Yes, I'm really sorry, but just because I was talking.
There definitely seems to be some kind of a bizarre floating object hovering above the Pentagon building. A second angle shows the exact same incident, but perhaps a bit more in focus and clear this time around.
This is a fucking alien invasion.
You see it? Where is it? Give me the camera. What is this? I mean, what the is that?
Laugh.
Where'd he go?
Have you lost it?
Oh, there it is. Yeah, what the hell is that?
Look back. Look back.
I got you, baby.
We got a Star Destroyer in Washington. Oh, we got an Imperial class Star Destroyer in Washington. Oh man.
I see it.
Yeah, I see it too now.
Slow down, man. Slow down. What?
Oh, there it is.
They should tell us something.
If you try to use a cloaking device, it's not working
Again,
very well.
the object appears to be very mysterious and unexplainable. The third angle is just as cryptic.
Oh, there it is.
Honey?
Where's Nora? I don't know.
To this day, nobody's entirely sure as to what exactly was spotted above the Pentagon building that night, but the most popular explanation is that it was a UFO. So, what do you guys think? Are you a skeptic or a believer? Be sure to let me know in the comments. A Reddit user named Federal Swim 9423 posted a creepy piece of home security camera footage to their account just a couple of days ago. They write that the footage came from their camera after they got a notification that motion was detected. Take a look and see the footage for yourself.
Ooh. We got us a ghost here. It just fades away.
Strangely, a mysterious ghost-like entity can be seen moving around near the basketball hoop before disappearing just seconds later.
Tall.
The uploader is completely perplexed by the footage, stating that they have no idea what it is, but says that it looks like a person, which certainly seems to be the case, albeit a ghostly one. The ghost in question also appears to be the exact same size as the basketball hoop. In other words, it's a massive ghost, if that's even what it is. Do you guys think that perhaps this ghostly apparition was simply trying to get a game of basketball in because it was bored? Or do you think there was something else going on here?
I don't know.
Let me know your thoughts.
That would be interesting.
J.M. Godinez posted a video to Reddit which shows him and his cousin in the dining room, filmed on a security camera that's positioned in the main area of their house. All appears to be going perfectly fine for the first few seconds of the video. The uploader's cousin can be seen sitting down and simply going about her day, but things are just seconds away from taking a strange turn. Watch and see if you notice it. At around the 4 to 5 second mark of the video, the uploader's cousin's hair seems to be moving all on its own. It's almost like there's an unseen entity behind her that randomly decided to pull her hair. The cousin instantly feels something on her hair and proceeds to turn around, only to find that nobody's there. She definitely looks to be quite spooked afterward, and it's not hard to see why at all. This creepy video just goes to show you that sometimes we aren't safe from getting messed around by ghosts, even in the comfort of our own homes. Look at the video afterward. Find that instantly that randomly. It's almost like there's an unseen entity behind her that randomly decided to pull her hair. The cousin instantly feels something on her hair and proceeds to turn around, only to find that nobody's there.
Oh my!
She definitely looks to be quite spooked afterward, and it's not hard to see why at all.
No, it's not.
This creepy video just goes to show you that sometimes we aren't safe from getting messed around by ghosts, even in the comfort of our own homes. And that was 11 scary videos. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then subscribe for more scary content. My name is Sir Spooks, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, man. All right. All right. One more. 9 scary videos that will bewilder you. This is the recent one that he uploaded. All right, and we're gonna close with this one. All right, 9 scary videos that will bewilder you. You guys ready? All right, I know I am. So without further ado, away we go.
Hello everyone, my name is
Oh yeah,
Spooks,
that's not
and today
Nightmare
we'll take a
Fuel.
look at 9 scary videos. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more scary content. Alright, with that said, let's begin. This first video that we'll be looking at today comes to us from a Reddit user known as Kipper2, who says that a family member of his shared the following live photo that she took of a deer in her and her husband's yard. The uploader says that the two of them lived alone in this old southern farmhouse, which was previously owned by an older man who'd unfortunately passed away in the home. She'd allegedly complained a couple of times about walking in the attic, etc. It wasn't long after this live photo they decided it was finally time to move out. For the first couple of seconds of the footage, it doesn't really appear as though there's anything remotely wrong with it. But once you see it, you'll see why this couple decided they probably shouldn't continue living there.
Ooh.
What appears behind her looks to be a man holding a child, or one figure standing over another one's shoulder. It's a very creepy sight to behold, and it makes sense why the couple was so freaked out and disturbed. It looks like something you'd see ripped straight from a horror movie.
Yeah.
To this day, nobody's entirely sure as to what exactly was captured on the footage that day, but everyone seemingly agrees that it's definitely quite unsettling. What do you guys think this eerie video shows? Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below.
That's creepy.
The following piece of footage was published to YouTube back in August of 2020 by a YouTuber known as Sunny Veta, who typically posts content relating to him exploring the wilderness and all that it has to offer. That's why this following video initially doesn't stand out like a sore thumb or anything. The video in question sees a first responder riding around on his ATV, rushing as fast as he can to get to a certain spot because of an emergency situation. The first responder is riding the ATV along a recreational area along the banks of North Saskatchewan River in Alberta, Canada, when he spots something bone-chilling. Watch this.
Ooh, hi. Well, hi there, Mr. Bigfoot. He was either looking at him or had his back turned to him, and then it turned around and looked at him. Whoa, yeah. Well, he's not following him, so yeah.
Out of nowhere, when the first responder rounds the bend, a massively tall, dark figure can be seen standing off to the side of the forestry area, much to the surprise of the man recording, audibly making a shocked noise before continuing on the path, while occasionally glancing back to see what it was.
Yeah.
While there are certainly no answers that have been proven to be true, the most popular belief here is that this first responder had an encounter with none other than a Bigfoot that day. But what do you think? Do you think that this first responder managed to spot the elusive creature that day, or was this something else entirely? Either way, I think this guy is going to want to stay as far away from this trail as possible from here on out. Over on TikTok, a user named Lizzie, going by the username Planet Lizzie, posted a video to her account in which herself and a friend were out randonauting when they encountered something shocking. The Randonautica app, for those of you who are unaware, allows the user to explore their local region and report on what they find by randomly generating coordinates. The app's developers claim that it is an attractor of strange things, allowing users to select certain locations based on a predetermined theme. Lizzie says that she and her friend were taken to a really random place with a bunch of abandoned apartments when all of a sudden they heard a noise that chilled them to the core. Watch and listen.
Ritual. This is real. This is not a game. This is when we get murdered. Dude, this is not real.
Amazingly, both Lizzie and her friend managed to keep their cool about everything, despite the creepy situation that they are both in. In fact, they both seem to be more amazed and impressed by what they stumble upon, rather than freaked out. Lacey points out that the noises sound like they're coming from some sort of creepy ritual, which seems accurate. Of course, though, nobody knows for sure, so that's just one possible theory here. Let's just hope that Lizzie and this friend of hers never decide to use the Randonautica app again.
No. I wouldn't. I most definitely wouldn't.
A TikTok user named Rosanna, also by the username Darkcha, posted an extremely unsettling video to their account back in September of this year, which showcases something terrifying in their house. The video shows Rosanna cautiously approaching this open door, shaking and trembling as they slowly proceed to make their way closer, one step at a time. It's clear that there's something out there that's freaking them out. As they finally manage to make it to the door and point the camera outside, it becomes clear what they are so scared of. Take a look and see for yourself.
Okay. That could be one of their friends opening and closing the door, but I don't see how.
Loli.
Ooh. Ooh. Hello. Ooh, he's closer.
Laisse-moi. Loli.
A mysterious shadow figure can be seen looming in the area, much to the fear and panic of Rosanna.
What's the noise?
The description of the post reads as follows, quote, "This is not the first time I have seen these black characters / shadows, but they were just passing in front of me. There, this thing uses its malice by imitating the cries of Loli, my cat, to attract me into a corridor. In the end I stumble, it will last a long time, then I threw up my entire meal. I found my cat hidden under the sofa. I am in the hotel for an indefinite period, not the strength or the courage to endure anymore. All the religious texts make him angry. Attacks follow the same day. I think there is nothing more to do. I am in trouble. I have to move, yes, but I will only be able to once the procedure against the former owners is finished." End quote. So what do you guys make of this eerie video? Do you think that Rosanna needs to get out of this place immediately because of the strange shadow figure? Or do you think there's something far less sinister going on here? Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments.
I don't know. I don't know. Now, that could be demonic. It could be a malevolent spirit, or it could be just them pulling a prank. I don't know. Nowadays, you don't know. You don't know. Sometimes you don't know at all.
Over on TikTok, a woman named Callie decided to wander around an allegedly haunted hospital all by herself and document her findings to her audience. Which, as you can probably guess, turned out to be a very bad idea.
Yes, a very, very bad idea.
Callie finds herself in the middle of something quite terrifying when she starts to explore around a bit. Watch this.
La puerta de madera virgen maciza que no se queda quieta. Bueno, esto es de lo más común.
3 different clips are shown of things moving around all on their own, much to Callie's terror. Also, look at this part of the footage right here and pay close attention to the window.
Ok, realmente es una manito. La manito también juega al prende y apaga.
Got a hand.
A mysterious ghost hand can be seen on the window, and you can also see the light flickering inside of the room. Just a moment later, Callie shows a picture that she took in an abandoned ward of the hospital basement. This is what the picture showcases.
Oh, what the hell is that? That's creepy.
In the picture, it looks like there's a ghost boy in the middle of the hallway, eerily standing there. We don't exactly know how long it took for Callie to finally leave this place and say enough is enough. But we can only hope that it was as soon as possible.
Yeah, really.
One thing that's for sure, she definitely won't be coming back.
I wouldn't. Man.
Filmmakers Richard Rossi and Kelly Tabor unintentionally discovered a shocking piece of drone footage from DP Daniels' drone of something that will make you afraid to ever go near the water again.
Oh?
The first few seconds of the 10-second clip are pretty uneventful until you notice this happening.
Ooh. What is that?
Daniel ended up capturing stunning footage of what appears to be Champ, the legendary lake monster said to inhabit Lake Champlain, while on location for their upcoming film, Lucy and the Lake Monster. I can't imagine how shocking it would be to notice something this unbelievable in person, let alone on a movie set. If this didn't give the filmmaker some inspiration, then I don't know what will.
I don't know
Do you guys think this really is the infamous lake monster?
Might
or
be.
is this nothing to worry about?
Looks like a giant fish, that's for sure.
In 2012, 2 videos of the exact same UFO event over Busan, South Korea, surfaced, but only one of them is actually widely available today. This UFO video was published 12 years ago on a relatively unknown YouTube channel called XXX Donuts XXX. The object in the UFO video has a resemblance to the official photo release of the unknown object shot down over the Yukon in
It's a flying toilet seat.
2023, as published in an article by CTV News. By comparing the two, it definitely looks quite identical to say the least, especially once you take a look at the stabilized version.
It's the Millennium Falcon. Han Solo and Chewie are just flying by, saying hi.
A Canadian Brigadier General described it as follows in an internal email that CTV News was able to obtain. Quote, "Top quarters metallic, remainder white." End quote. A parcel of some kind was hanged from a 20-foot cable that was dangling below. On On a cooperative operation with the Canadian Armed Forces, it was shot down by a US Air Force F-22 stealth fighter. It's just super eerie how similar these two look. What are your guys' theories? Let me know in the comments below.
Shot down. Well, if it was shot down, then it may not have been extraterrestrial at all. It may have been something somebody made.
A YouTuber known as Briscoe Park uploaded a video to his channel on November 20th, 2023, which sees him wandering around in the middle of the night by himself as he checks out an old abandoned house.
Oh yeah,
the footage is absolutely bone-chilling throughout, reminding me of some kind of lost footage you'd see on the deleted scenes of the Blair Witch Project or something. It just has a super distressing feel to it all. Regardless, Briscoe can be seen wandering around the area and exploring for a couple of minutes where he doesn't manage to come across anything too exciting. At least, that is at first. At around the 2-minute mark in the video, Briscoe walks by a window and it's here in which something super creepy can be seen. Take a look.
Oh man, that's hard to see unless you're really looking at it. Shadow person.
An eerie shadow can be seen in the blue room if you look just carefully enough. Then, about 30 seconds or so later, while Briscoe is inside the blue room to investigate, he finds himself the target of yet another scary incident. Did you see it? If you look at the window off to the left of the room, a pair of eyes can be seen peering in at it before darting away rapidly a moment or two later. Now, as for why Briscoe was even here in the first place is kind of a mystery, but we can only hope that this will finally give him the warning he needs to stay away from this place before something really bad can happen.
Shoot! It disappeared. That could have been a predator, that like a coyote or a wolf or a mountain lion looking in at you. And you definitely don't want a mountain lion on your tail. Or it could be something demonic.
Dee from the YouTube channel Dee's Dark Adventures is a popular content creator who frequently uploads videos of herself wandering around and exploring creepy old and abandoned places around the world.
Yeah, I will have to do a reaction video of her, some of her videos as well. She's pretty good.
In this particular video, Dee is exploring a creepy farmhouse style area, which proves to be absolutely terrifying. Dee can be seen moseying around outside near the cornfields for a while, which doesn't prove to be too creepy. But the real terror kicks in at around the 7-minute mark when she hears something that chills her blood.
What am I hearing? Listen. I don't know if it's a whispering. No, dude. Holy shit happened.
Then, as she continues to explore the cornfield area outside, she comes into contact with something that probably should have caused her to pack her things and go home right then and there.
Ooh, what? Ooh.
What the hell is it doing?
It's looking at you. Peekaboo.
What doing?
Looks like a Sasquatch.
No, I'm done. Oh my god, it just made a noise. No.
A black figure
Yeah.
can be seen hiding behind some of the corn.
Run,
after which it
Dee,
makes a
run.
terrifying sound. Even after this, however, Dee presses on and continues with her investigation.
Well, I'll give it to her.
But it's
She's
only a couple
brave.
of minutes later in which Dee finds herself the target of yet more terror.
You know, take you guys to new locations. What is that?
Yeah. Dee, you should get out of there. It's watching you.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
A grayish figure with glowing eyes can be seen peeking in the upper left corner of the cornfield, which must mean the figure in question is absolutely massive. This footage is just more reason to avoid cornfields altogether. Let's hope that Dee follows that advice too.
Well, it's either a Sasquatch or it's a Shadow Man or it's a human being that's stalking her. So, I don't know.
And that was 9 scary videos. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then subscribe for more scary content. My name is Sir Spooks, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Alright, guys, that's it. That is it. Oh, man. We did it. That was like... Wow, that was like 7 videos in all. That was like 7 videos in all. We did it, guys. We did it. We did it. Now, I'm going to try and do some more later on this week. But not right now. I've done enough. You know, like, oh man, we've been at this for almost 2.5 hours. Dang. Yeah, I need to stop. I'll put in the links to the original videos in the description box below as soon as I'm done. And yeah, like I said, we'll do some more later. Oh, no, Sean, you're fine, dude. You're fine. You're fine. Are you kidding? Thank you at least for showing up in the chat room. But yeah, for those of you who are just now watching this, who are not in the live stream, thank you for at least stopping by and watching. We'll have some more later on. Like I said before, on a more serious note, those of you who have watched Vanna Melon's recent video, either drop by her latest video or drop by her Twitter page, give her some love, give her some positive vibes. She could really use those right now. You know, if you're friends with her and your other friends, leave them some positive vibes, especially her. Those of you who do not know what's going on, like I said before, drop by her channel and watch her recent video. She'll explain everything. But yeah, once you're done, leave her some positive vibes, leave her some love. I think she could really use that now. Like I said, Like I said, I'll be doing some more later on. Right now, oh yeah, it's 7:38. I'm gonna go watch some stuff with my dad because there is nothing on right now, and this is the Halloween season. You'd be thinking to yourself, "Are you kidding me? They don't have any spooky movies on?" Yeah, typical Halloween season for us. We got to find our own stuff to watch. But anyway, that's all I'm gonna do for right now, guys. Like I said, I'll leave links to the original videos in the description box below. We'll do some more later. Probably not tonight, even though my interview isn't until tomorrow afternoon. I want to make sure I get plenty of rest, but definitely this week we'll be doing some more videos, reaction videos, maybe playing some spooky Let's Play. We'll see. Yeah. Sean, I'll see you in a little bit on Discord. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Goodbye. Hope you've been having a great October season so far. I know I have. So, listen, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Until then, you guys stay safe, stay awesome, and especially if you've got kids or you are in a family that has younger kids, you all have a safe and happy Halloween, okay? All right. I'll see you later.